Out of all the scummy alpha males that grift on the internet,
This is going to burst your bubble and it might affect you.
one particularly unsavory character tops the list: Ben Azoulay.
I've taken on not one, not two guys. I fought 30 guys at the same time and they couldn't take me out.
He refers to himself as King Azoulay, but I refuse to use that title in any way, shape, or form for obvious reasons.
My dad knew he couldn't take me. Now I was 13. He picked up a stick, a wooden stick, and he went to hit me over the head. And I did this and it broke. And then I took it out of his hand, threw it on the floor, kicked him in the leg, picked him up and threw him on the coffee table.
This guy is the Frank Dukes of the alpha male universe.
Then went into the world of doing underground fights. And doing underground fights was amazing for me because I fought people that were much older than me. I was 16 years old. But I was making about $2,000 to $3,000 a fight.
Complete with a phony resume of underground cage fights, as well as some sort of military background in some kind of counter-terrorist unit.
Do you have experience in counterterrorism?
For about a decade. You get trained for almost a year straight. And you get trained worldwide. That's why I've been to over 80 countries. And then after that, whenever there's a problem, if there's a terrorist right now in France, I have to go catch him in France.
I don't know, the story seems to change as the days go by, depending on which fake person he's interviewing in his fake podcast.
We hurt, and I learned that at a young age. That's what I learned from the Shaolin monk.
He also has something in common with his other alpha male comrades, aside from being completely full of shit and selling a course on how to be a man.
You can act like a man!
And that is a background of a violent or heinous criminal act that he is trying to suppress.
I got arrested, and I got arrested for something that they said that I did, and I didn't do it. And when I got out all clean after I spent a little bit of time in jail, I said, I'm never coming back here again.
He was recently exposed for allegedly admitting to committing SA on a minor back in 2008. John Bravo Films first exposed him for this.
But he lied to all of us when he said he didn't do anything.
Apparently, he had admitted and pled guilty to this horrible act that he committed with his brother and another accomplice. And he has recently made statements regarding the conviction. In this video that he just released, he doesn't really go into detail to what the actual charge was, which I found kind of suspicious.
Now it looks like I pissed off a lot of people, guys. A lot of people. So many because I became so influential so quick. And I'm literally one of the most talked about influencers in the world today. That I got to the point that they're putting out a lot of false information about me. A lot of bullshit.
I don't want to go in depth to what he actually did, obviously because I'm disgusted by it and I don't want to talk about it anymore. But if you really want to know what he did, you can find it online or you can look up the video on John Bravo's YouTube channel. He's now blaming the Matrix for the truth coming out about his horrific past.
But you see, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm gonna say this. It's gonna come out of my mouth. You ready? It looks like the Matrix is attacking me. That's what it looks like. It looks like they don't want me around because I'm helping men become stronger, better. I'm putting more men on the front line, teaching them to become men.
It looks like he's taking a page right out of the Alpha Male Handbook and running with it. The concept of a Matrix attack is just another layer of the grift in order for them to avoid taking accountability for their wrongdoings. I always find it fascinating and ironic how a lot of these alpha males constantly talk about how women don't take accountability, and then when all of these skeletons in their closets start coming out, they refuse to take accountability for their actions. There's nothing alpha about any of these guys. They take advantage of physically weaker people than they are, and they also try to funnel people who are in vulnerable positions into scams in order to profit off of them. Ben Azoulay is constantly talking about how tough he is.
Somebody, I don't punch their head. I'm imagining my fist going through their head, the back of their head gets stuck here on my elbow.
And how good of a fighter he is. I've trained martial arts for a large portion of my life. I've trained with some people who are professionals. I've even won some tournaments myself. Nobody who possesses any type of skill has to come on the internet and talk about how good they are at fighting. This is all part of a manipulative ploy to appear superior to people and to look almost like some kind of superhero, which is a true narcissistic trait. It gives them this sense that they are above other people and they're trying to gain credence so that they can funnel people into these courses that they're selling. In most of my videos, I like to show a more empathetic side to a story, but this is not one of those videos. This guy doesn't deserve 1 ounce of sympathy. He is flat out denying his past, and he should have stayed off social media. I don't know how this guy has achieved such a large following online. This must be a reflection that there's a large portion of society that is lost and gullible. He says he's being attacked because he's trying to better men. After watching one video of this guy, I can tell that he's not interested in bettering anything but his pocketbook. He also speaks on some really ridiculous and dangerous practices. Like there's one video where he's talking about banging your head against something hard.
Your head is the strongest bone in the body. And if you train it and bang it enough for a whole year, it becomes 4 times thicker.
In order to create what he calls microfractions.
There is something called microfractions. Little microfractions that you cause with hitting the bone thickens the bone. I used to sit there and hit my shins with a hammer all fucking day.
And what I think he's trying to say is microfractures. But banging your head against a wall is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody say on the internet. That's just asking for brain damage. He's completely full of shit. Any one of us can create this character, go online and lie to people. Some people, they might be in a position where, they're kind of out of shape and they see this guy and he's, jacked and he's pretty ripped. He's hitting the bag. He kind of looks like he might know what he's doing, but he's not a fighter. He doesn't really look built like a fighter. He's more built like a bodybuilder. He just looks like he's on steroids and he's been lifting heavy weights.
I didn't build a body to be a bodybuilder. I built a machine. This is a weapon.
The stories that he comes up with are completely outrageous. There was another story where he was talking about how he used to go to this restaurant.
When we came to the US, I started eating at a Chinese restaurant. The owner was, for me, Master Shifu. When I used to go there, eventually the owner fell in love with me. And he said, that kid is special. And I would come to him, and before I would eat, he would move all of the tables and he would teach me Kung Fu. And I was 10 years old, so I learned how to move.
Kung Fu after hours. I had a lot of people in my family that own restaurants, and the last thing somebody wants to do after a long shift is train some random guy Kung Fu in the middle of the restaurant. I have no idea how anybody buys into this shit. This alpha male movement has caused a lot of problems between men and women, and a lot of these guys don't deserve a platform. This guy actually makes Wes Watson look like a good guy.
That's a bag of trash, dude.
And why is it that all of these alpha males keep getting in hot water over all of these violent crimes? Think about the things that they're saying in their videos.
But I also love looking good and better than others.
Like I see a lot of these videos and these guys talk about the relationship between a man and a woman.
I'll sit there stewing that like, oh, but this chick's not like just jumping on me right now. Like I'm the king of the fucking world. Like,
and it's almost like they're trying to emulate this 1950s style of a relationship. Like it's 2025. The way we make money now has completely changed. People aren't buying houses like they used to. Most of these guys you're watching online are broke. The mentality that these guys represent in these videos is warping a lot of young men's minds, and it's creating a rift between the relationship of men and women. My hope with videos like these is that more people will think critically and avoid this type of mentality. Men and women need to work together. We're not enemies. Think about it. If a guy is flexing that he has $100 million, why would he need to sell you a course on how to get rich or be a man? If he's as altruistic as he's representing, why doesn't he just give the course away for free? Because at the end of the day, if he gets a big following on YouTube, he'll still make money off of the AdSense. The only thing this guy is the king of is being the king of the douchebags.
People look at me as soon as I walk in and they're like, who is this guy? I look like I'm going to hurt somebody.
And that's an insult to douchebags. To all the young men watching, be aware of these alpha males. For the most part, they're predatory and don't give a damn about you bettering yourself. That's all I got for this one. I didn't really want to discuss this guy because I don't really think he's relevant, but I do think that the subject matter of these alpha males is relevant, and the fact that they keep getting exposed for all these criminal acts in their past says a lot about their character. We need to do our job online as YouTubers to spread more awareness around these topics and prevent people from getting scammed. If you want to discuss the topic in this video, let me know in the comments. If you want to like and subscribe to this video, it helps me reach more people with this message, and it helps me with the algorithm. Have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening. Stay skeptical. See you in the next video.